Michael Jackson's lawyers have a witness list. It really reads like a Hollywood Walk of Fame. You got Diana Ross on there, Liz Taylor, Stevie Wonder. So will all that star power distract jurors from the real issues, and is that the point? Joining us from Los Angeles, criminal defense attorney John Patrick Dolan. Good morning. Thanks for getting up with us, or possibly not even going to bed.
Good morning, Karen and Brian. How are you doing this morning?
Great. Brian's actually taking a break. He's brushing some dogs for the Westminster Dog Show, so it'll just be me and you.
Hand over the mask.
All right, that's beautiful.
Let me ask you this, though. Some of the legal analysts are saying they should sell tickets to this thing because the witness list of 370, mostly celebrities. What's going on in Tom Mesereau's mind as he tries to defend Michael Jackson?
Well, at the risk of being serious, there's three reasons why you bring in these celebrity witnesses. The first is because many of them have actually seen Michael Jackson interact with children in general. The second is some of them might have seen him interact with the accuser and his brother in particular. And the third and the most important is this. They're going to provide character evidence. They're going to say that Michael Jackson has character for honesty and morality. And the California Evidence Code allows that kind of evidence to be presented. And it also allows that if you find that character evidence to be true, that can be the basis for an acquittal. So he's got a lot of power with these witnesses coming into this testimony.
Yes, but on the flip side, isn't it also, if you are a member of the jury, and if some of these people like Liz Taylor, perhaps, or Diana Ross or Stevie Wonder, if they're, your hero, or they're somebody that you admire, that you believe, isn't that an unfair advantage for the defense?
I would like to call it an ancillary benefit rather than an unfair advantage.
Okay, so, but clearly it's a tactic to try, because none of these people were in the bedroom. None of these people know whether or not the boy is telling the truth when he says Michael Jackson molested me.
You're absolutely right. All they could do is give general information about whatever interaction they saw, and obviously they weren't in the bedroom. But the character evidence is critical because think about it from the juror's point of view. If Stevie Wonder and Elizabeth Taylor and Britney Spears and the whole litany of witnesses that have been identified come in and say, I know Michael Jackson, I know that he wouldn't have committed this crime, I think that's really hard to ignore, and the defense has every right to do this. Goodness gracious, the prosecution has been leaking evidence for the last 6 months. It's about time for the defense to get on the offensive.
It seems like it's going to be a tough call even as we go through the jury selection process because even in the preliminary questioning, it seemed that everybody knew somebody who had either been to Neverland Ranch or knew somebody who had been to Neverland Ranch. How tough is it going to be to get a jury who maybe doesn't really have a far reach when it comes to knowing things about Michael Jackson?
Well, jurors can know or have some contact with parties in a trial. The question is, can that juror set aside that relationship and be fair and impartial about the evidence that's presented? I have a feeling, given the nature of this case, that the 250-odd people that are left are going to say, well, of course I can be fair, even though I know somebody who worked at Neverland or whatever. And so the defense and the prosecution both have their work cut out for them, cutting out the people who are just there for reasons other than to be providing their civic duty.
Mm-hmm. And let me ask you this one other question, and this has to do with the 370 people on this possible witness list. Do they all have to show up, first of all? What if they don't want to come support Michael Jackson?
If they're asked to show up and they're not subpoenaed and they don't show up, there's no particular recourse. If they are subpoenaed, they must show up, although with celebrities many times we see in courts a celebrity gets subpoenaed and they send some lawyers down to see if they can dodge the subpoena. So we'll see what happens as it unfolds.
And it'll be interesting to see just how Tom Mesereau and his team are going to interview all of these people to make sure they don't say something wrong as well on the stand if they're supposed to be defending Michael Jackson.
Kieran, I think they've already been interviewed.
All 370 about what they're going to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly going to be interesting. John Patrick Dolan, criminal defense attorney, thanks for your insight this morning.
Thank you.